Hello, this is Dr. Megan Miller,
And this is Joe Smith.
and we are doing We'll Decide Wednesday, our second to last episode for 2021 / our podcast. Hopefully, Joe and I's schedules will work out for 2022 and we'll actually start recording episodes again. We'll see.
I see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. I think once we get out of this Christmas fog, then we'll be good.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and spin our wheel. We have generic conference. We did do conference already with this wheel, but this was kind of broad, like you could talk about anything. So do you have enough to talk about with conferences to cover 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
I think we talked about like conferences, like which conferences we would like to attend already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can pull something out. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Sounds good. And those of you who are here from the collective, feel free to share when we're done or type in the chat. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, feel free to let us know as well. I'm going to go ahead and start. So it was so funny because I was actually thinking about this morning, like what conferences am I actually going to go to? And because I originally thought I was going to go to APBA, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out. I think I'm presenting at a conference at the beginning of April, but it hasn't been confirmed yet, so I'm not going to say. And then in the end of April, I'm going to Texas ABA. I'm presenting there with Mari Serda. Super excited about that. And then in July, there's the conference that Eric Jacobson is hosting, and I'll be presenting at that as well. And then FABA. But it was just interesting. He's like, I'm not registering for ABAI, even though everyone's posting about their stuff being accepted and whatnot. And I might go just to see people, but I thought for sure I'd go to APBA and I'm not going. So I'm kind of feeling like, usually around this time every year, I'm like, these are all the things I'm doing in 2022. And I feel like there's so much up in the air and it's really weird feeling for me. So, but I'm also really excited. I think we talked about this a little bit. I'm just excited that there's other options now. And it's not like just APBA and ABAI in your state conference that you can go to. So I'm hoping to go to BABA in Detroit. That's in June. Oh, and then I think someone is trying to get me to present at WEBA, Carrie Millico, and I might submit something for that. So if I do, it's interesting just because like the conferences I am planning on going to besides FABA are all conferences I've never been to before, which is unusual for me. So I'm looking forward to that. But what I really want is like for more conferences to feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. It's fun to travel and like see people, but I like presentations where you leave and you're like, I can go try that thing now. And I like that there's more options where that's happening and like becoming a thing, but I don't feel like the conferences that have existed for a while are like catching up on that. Like I can read your research articles. I don't need to see you talk about that. I want to know how I can better my practice or like meet people that I can connect with afterwards to continue applying whatever it is we're learning, So those are the conference thoughts I'm having right now. And that is my time.
Awesome. Perfect. That was done so well.
All right, Joe, what you got?
All right. So my time will start now. So for my lineup for conferences in 2022, I don't have any lined up right now, just because I don't know which ones to attend, which ones that I should focus on, just because there's so many, and then I just have so limited amount of time. I do like to travel. I do like to meet people and just get to talk and just collaborate with others. It's just so hard because my time is just so limited now. But I would love to try to do a conference on the West Coast. And I wouldn't mind going back to FABA as always. But there's just so many. And I also agree with you, Megan. Like I would like to go to conference where I feel like I could accomplish something. Like I went to a presentation or I went to a workshop and I felt like I actually learned something that I can apply right away um, to my practice. I don't want research articles. I don't want you presenting on what you found for your research article. I really want um, something. I want something tangible too. Um, that's unique and that will further my practice as a behavior analyst. But I feel like that's so hard to come by.
Yeah.
Um, and also sometimes the best places to go instead of conferences are to go to actual like workshops that are being presented by one speaker. Like Greg Hanley has his workshops, Tommy Perry, you know, especially the one that we had back when we had NBC. It was NBC at the time, and we had that 2-day workshop in Portsmouth.
Hmm.
That was great. But as far as conferences go, I feel like it's so rushed, and you're just going through the motion of going through this presentation, and it's great, and you collaborate, and you get to have a fun time and you travel. But like afterwards, I'm like, what did I all learn? Like there was just so much information.
Yeah.
So, and I think my time is now up.
Awesome. Liz or anyone else that's on from the collective, do you have anything to share? Liz, I know you're presenting at VABA, right?
It's
Hopefully.
not official. It's not official yet, but I think it's happening. So my first thing is to harass Joe into going to VABA.
We'll go to VABA. That's a definite.
Oh, okay. I was a little upset, but all right. So I feel better about that.
Yeah, no, I feel like VABA is like just a gimme at this point. Like, I mean, of course you're going to your state conference. Like, if you don't, then what are you doing? Like, you know.
Exactly. I agree. Being on the VABA board, I feel like your point is very, very well taken. And then I think I'm going to leave from there and go to CASP in Portland. And then ABAI, Megan and I talked about this. I'm kind of up in the air about like, do I just go and hang out? And I went to school in Boston. So like in my first VABA conference was like in 2000, we couldn't figure it out, like early 2000s in Boston, or my first ABAI conference was there. So it's kind of nostalgic to go back. And then I have a hotel for APBA. So that's a plan. But Megan, you brought up BABA and WEBA. I would really like to eventually fit those two in.
Yeah,
for sure. And I like that. But you said BABA's in June, and when is WEBA's later in the year too?
WEBA's in July. So for me, like right now, my schedule's working out that like none of the things conflict with one another. So I'm fingers crossed that continues, like the different things that I have going on for like coaching and consulting and conferences. So,
and it seems like you guys like, and I wonder if Joe might answer this too. Like FABA is, I mean, huge and great. But I mean, I know that Megan, you have connections back to Florida, and Joe, what was it like for you to go to FABA or are you connected to Florida? Did you go to FIT?
No, I actually went to ODU.
Okay.
For my coursework.
You're an outsider.
I was an outsider.
How did you fare at FABA?
I loved it. Like it was everything that I kind of like wanted it to be. But I still think like there's always room for improvement. I think like my first conference was VABA and I loved it. I just wish it was longer than a day or 2 days. Like I love FABA. I love just the amount of different people that you know in the field that came to one location and work together and just collaborate and talk and get to know each other. Like that was amazing. So I don't know. Like it just there's just something about Fava that was special. I mean, I have no ties in Florida too, by the way.
Yeah, but you were presenting with us, so that was good.
That was not gonna lie, that was like amazing. Just being up there and presenting, and especially just presenting with the you and our other co-host that just, I mean, like it was just amazing. Like absolute.
So you were an insider.
Yeah.
But lots of people come there that aren't from Florida because it's just they have good quality content typically, and it's a nice opportunity to like enjoy the resorts that they book it at are also always really nice. They have like a cool pool area. A lot of people bring their families and make like a vacation out of it. So I prefer not to do that. I like to have my me time, but yeah.
And you brought up APBA. I feel like I remember, I haven't been in a while, so I won't speak to it lately, but I remember the first few years that APBA was around, and it was like small and really like the presentations were really good right in the beginning.
Yeah. I haven't, I mean, I didn't go to any of the online stuff that they did, but the in-person, they've continued to have pretty good content. There's a couple talks I've been to where I was like, did you prepare this yesterday? Like, or 2 minutes ago? I'm not really sure what's happening right now, but for the most part, it's good content. And it's in New Orleans this year during like, it starts on St. Patrick's Day. So, like,
Oh,
Okay, so that might be why I'm going.
so
I want to
if my
go
trip
now.
falls through, I'll definitely be there. But right now I might be going to do some stuff for work in Turkey. So but
so that's what I want to do. I want to go to New Orleans for St. Patrick's Day because I went 6 months after Hurricane Katrina and helped rebuild
Mhm.
the city, but I did not realize like it also fell when we went, it also fell on Mardi Gras.
Oh
And
yeah.
let me tell you, I worked all day and afterwards we all went out, we ate the most amazing food, and the experience of just like being there is just like different. Like the culture is so unique. And and especially the people there, they were so family oriented, which was so cool.
You can get a cocktail and go to Walgreens.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
You can walk down the
Last
street.
time I was in. And Yvette brought up the Defy, that she just gone, her first conference was the Defy conference.
Yeah, I was going to mention that when we talked about EPBA. So hers was the retreat with Defy, the burnout retreat. And we have for the Do Better camp, we had that in the fall. And I know Liz, you went to both. So you were lucky for that. And we haven't like locked it in yet, but we're going to have our camp is going to be in the spring. So we're going to start in 2023. Every year it'll be in the spring. I'm hoping for the first weekend in April, but we have to get all the paperwork done before we can say for sure. So
Totally
hoping.
not your traditional conference experience for either one.
Yeah. So those are the kinds of things I want to do more of.
I mean, can you really say that Couch Camp is actual conference? Like it deserves its own title.
I know. It's camp.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's the eclectic like experience for a BSBA. Like it's like from what Megan was telling me, it's just what you get out of that time there is more than you ever get at like 5 conferences, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it was at least for the Couch to Camp, it was focused on content from people outside of behavior analysis that still can benefit us. And that was really nice, to have other experts presenting and like doing things that would still improve our practices. And we did a lot of conversations around how do we synthesize this with the work that we do, especially because there were some newer BCBAs there, and people just with like a history of potentially, being in rigid situations and things like that. But it was really fascinating to see that pretty much everyone was like able to make those connections, that there was no one like, no, it's got to be this. And Liz did a great job of like sharing honestly and authentically about like, well, in the past, I would have said this thing, this rigid thing.
Yeah, I've evolved a lot, and that just kind of like was a culmination of my evolution over the last few years, and like pushed me over. But I literally talk to somebody from couch to camp at least once a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, I mean,
I love it.
mhm.
All right, well, we're gonna close out so I can have time to get set up for the weekly meeting. We are finishing up our 2021 activities. So we have the weekly meeting with me tonight. We have our mentorship session tomorrow with Camille at 7 p.m. And then next week we have We'll Decide Wednesday and the weekly meeting with me. And then 2021 is like done for us. And we'll have all of our new stuff rolling out for 2022. Yay.
I know, I'm super pumped.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us. Hopefully I'll see some of you in a few minutes to talk about peak.
Good to see y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.